Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. Happy Easter, my friends. Happy Easter to you. A day we celebrate God's persistence, life renewed, life come back in a new way. Well, our shout out today goes to all of you. Here we are, into spring. Let's look for that life that is under the dead leaves. Let's look for the life that's inside the dead branches of trees. Let's look for life in all the dark corners that we might have. That is what Easter is about. After a time of loss and grief, the discovery that God persists, love persists, and life begins anew. Isn't that an important message for us to remember this year? Well, to start our Easter celebration, I thought I would bring back some friends from last year. There is Mr. Cow. Hello, hello. And we have Owl as well. Hello, hello. And Owl and Cow are going to help us sing a song. We haven't sung in a while, but let's lift our voices with hallelujahs for Easter. The song is really easy and repetitive. The words are hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. And the other words are praise be the Lord. Owl's words are praise be the Lord. And we have Cow. Cow is going to sing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. You can choose which one of our friends you're going to follow. And when it is your turn to sing, you stand up. And when it's not your turn to sing, you sit down. So are you ready? Let's sing for this Easter Sunday.
Hallelujah, 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 praise you, Lord. Hallelujah, 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 praise you, Lord. Praise you, the Lord, hallelujah, praise you, the Lord, hallelujah, praise you, the Lord, hallelujah, praise you, Lord. How did you do with that? Can we speed it up? Let's try again. Hallelujah, 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 praise you, Lord. Hallelujah, 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 praise you, Lord. Praise you, the Lord, hallelujah, praise you, the Lord, hallelujah, praise you, the Lord, hallelujah, praise you, Lord. One last time, we can go super fast. Friends, you're doing great. Here we go. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, praise you, Lord. Hallelujah, hallelujah, praise you, the Lord. Praise you, the Lord, hallelujah, praise you, the Lord, hallelujah, praise you, the Lord, hallelujah, praise you, the Lord.
So the story of Easter is a familiar one, but it's not about bunnies and eggs and chickens and chocolate. It's a very sad story that ends in joy and hope. So let's share that story one more time. To begin, though, we have to remember Holy Week. Jesus last week on Palm Sunday entered into Jerusalem, and people were excited to see him. But he was getting in trouble. People in charge didn't like Jesus because he really wanted social justice. He wanted people to be treated fairly. And those who were in charge didn't want to give up all of the money and all of the power that they had. So they didn't like Jesus. And as a result, Jesus was arrested and he was tried and he was killed. He was killed for being an enemy of those who were in power. And that is where the story of Easter picks up. Let's go play out that story of Easter Sunday. After Jesus was killed, he was removed from the cross and brought to a tomb where they rolled a stone in front, and he was laid to rest. The next day was the Sabbath, and so nothing happened. Now, it was tradition that women would help to prepare the bodies of people for burial and for their funerals. So on Easter morning, Mary and her friends came to the tomb with all of the things they needed to prepare Jesus' body for burial. But when they got there, they noticed the rock was no longer in front of the cave. Oh my goodness, can you imagine their surprise, their shock, maybe even their sadness? It was important to them to prepare Jesus' body for the funeral, and now they didn't have a body. Suddenly, Mary noticed a man who she believed to be the gardener, and she said to him, "Where have they taken my friend Jesus?" The gardener said, "Jesus is not here." Just as Jesus said, he has risen again. He is still alive in a new way. You must go tell the disciples a new life has started. Jesus is alive. Well, the story tells us that Mary was quite afraid. I don't blame her. I wonder, how would you feel if you were Mary and you showed up and the tomb was empty and there was a strange man there saying that Jesus was alive in a new way? When the disciples heard, they scratched their heads too. They were a little bit confused too. You know, we don't really know what happened. But we do know this. We know that after deep loss and grief, after losing hope because Jesus was killed, his friends and followers found new hope. They found a new life. And they discovered that even through Jesus' death, God persisted. God was still alive and alive again in them and with them still. So we might not know exactly how the resurrection happened, but what we do know is that God persists through loss, and God persists through hard times. And we continue to see that every year through our seasons. Life persists through winter to come back in spring in a different way, but it's still life again. Life and God and love persist. Hallelujah! That is Easter. Well, my friends, for our craft today, we are going to create a rock of life. What? What is that? Well, the first thing you need is a rock. So if you don't already have one, I challenge you to go outside right now and see if you can find yourself a rock that is smaller than the size of your hand. If possible, it might be smooth because that will make our craft easier. If you can't find a rock, that's okay too, because I have a really good backup. an egg. And I hope, being Easter time, you might have some eggs around. So a rock of life. A rock of life, we are going to take the rocks that we find and we are going to paint or draw a symbol of life on our rock. So for this, we need our rock. I'm going to use markers, but you could also use paint if you like. And I have a pencil to help me draw my shape on my rock. If you're using an egg, you want to remember that once you draw on your egg with paint or with markers, you shouldn't eat your egg afterwards. They're not like egg dyes that leave your egg still edible. So I have the things I need, but what am I going to draw on my rock? Well, we want to put a symbol or a picture of something that reminds us of life. And there's all kinds of things that could be. So what I like to do is look at the shape of the rock and see if that shape makes me think of a picture of something else. So I have an example. Here is a rock that Eli painted, and it's a lumpy, bumpy rock, which made him think of a frog. So he put the face of a frog on this rock. And here is a long, oval-shaped rock, and it made me think of a leaf, like a leaf in the fall or in the spring. And so I drew the shape of a leaf on that rock. Well, for my rock today, I'm looking at this big round shape that it has, and it makes me think of a ladybug. So I'm going to draw a ladybug on my rock today. But you should choose to draw whatever shape you feel fits your rock and makes you think of life. You are also welcome absolutely to follow along and draw a ladybug like I'm going to do. So I will show you how to draw a ladybug, but if you're drawing something else, that is perfect too. You should let your creativity flow and draw whatever reminds you of life on your rock. So let's get started. Okay, so as I said, I have my rock and I've prepared my rock by painting the surface white already. And you can choose to do that if you like, or you can just draw on your rock without painting it first. But the paint will help you to see what I'm doing a little bit better, so that's why I've done that. So to start, I have a selection of some red markers, and I have a black marker in there as well. And I also have my handy dandy pencil that's going to help me to draw the shape on it first so I can color it in afterwards. So let's start by drawing our ladybug shape. We're going to start on one end of our rock and we're going to draw a great big C shape that goes from one end of the rock to the other, just like so. That's going to be the start of our ladybug. Now going up from where we started our curve, just about right here, we're going to make another curve. It's going to go in the other direction. So it's going to go down, and then it's going to come and meet at the end of the first curve. So there we go. We've got this big long curve here that goes all the way across the top of the rock, and then we have a downward curve that starts a little bit up but joins at the back. We're going to add one more curve into here, and now we're going to start on the bottom curve, and this one is going to go up and it's going to kind of follow the other top curve, and it might even join by the end. Let's join it in there. There we go. Are you beginning to see how our ladybug is shaping up? Now where these two lines meet, we're going to make another line, and it's going to come and meet the bottom curve like this, and now we've got a nice little triangle in there, and I'm actually going to make a diamond in there. So I'm going to add two more lines, So I have a diamond shape and 2 triangles. There's my curve. Now this is going to be, these are my 2 wings. That's the little diamond shape on the ladybug's back. But the ladybug needs a head. So this line here, I'm now going to join it back up by bringing it around and join it up there. That's going to be my ladybug head. And let's give our ladybug some eyes. Going to do a little eye on that side. Looks almost like an almond. And a little eye on that side. Okay, ladybug has a head, 2 wings. What else does our ladybug need? How about some feet? We're going to add 1 foot here. We're going to add 1 foot there. But I think the other feet are hidden by the wings, so I'm not going to add any more. How about an antenna? I'm going to add 2 little antennas. 1 right here and 1 right there. Okay, this is rough. This is my rough ladybug. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm now going to color it in. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around my lines with my black marker. So here we go, let's trace. There, how cute is that little ladybug? All traced and it's now ready to be colored in. So I'm going to grab my red marker and I'm going to color in the wings all in red. Alright, I've got his wings in red. Now you might have noticed it's challenging to color on a rock because a rock is very, very bumpy. So it doesn't need to be perfect. It is beautiful with all of its lumps and bumps and mistakes and squiggles. That's part of what makes it unique and makes it yours. So we now need to add some black for the head and black on the diamond, but I'm going to leave the ladybug's 2 eyes and these 2 triangles in white. I'm just going to color in the head and the diamond. Well, my ladybug is beginning to shape up, but it needs to look like a ladybug. It's still missing something. It's missing its dots. So let's add some dots onto our ladybug. Well, I'm pretty happy with my ladybug. There's 2 other things that I'm going to do, which you don't have to do. Because I painted my rock white, I'm going to color over that white with some other colors. Well, there we go. The background is all colored in colors that kind of remind me of Easter. The last thing I want to add to my rock of life is 1 word. A word that reminds me of Easter. A special word that I can put on, and when others see my rock, they will be filled with that message of Easter too. I wonder, what word could I choose? I think today I will choose the word life. So I have a special silver marker here, but a black marker would work too, or a nice bright color, and I'm going to write the word life on my rock. Oh well, I got a little bit fancy and I put the word life in cursive. Can you see? There we go. There is my rock of life with the drawing of something that reminds me of life on the rock that reminds me of the story of the empty tomb. Well, my friends, here is my rock of life creation. I'm curious, what did you create out of your rock? Or did you use an egg instead? I would love to see your creations. What were your words? And what are the things that you put on your rock? Did you put a ladybug like me, or did you come up with a different symbol or image or picture of life that you wanted to add to your rock? I think I'm going to put my rock outside. Maybe I'll put it somewhere surprising so that it will surprise somebody on a walk and maybe it'll bring a bit of joy and a reminder of the unexpected life that exists in this world. I'd be curious where you might put your rocks of life. Where will you add them? How will you bring that message of God's persistence into this world? Well, my friends, enjoy your Easter. Go into this season of spring with a curiosity and an openness to find all those symbols of life coming back and persisting through winter and flourishing just as you can flourish. Let's bless each other for this Easter. May there be love in your heart to give. May there be joy in your heart to share. And may there be strength in your heart to lift others up. Happy Easter, my friends. See ya.